As we visit with you here today, it's important to remember what this issue is all about. It's not about Democrats versus Republicans or Republicans versus the president. It's about families all across America who worry every day about being torn apart. It's about saying to good, law-abiding people, you'll not have to spend another holiday season wondering if this will be your last together. It's about telling mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, they're no longer relegated to the shadows of the American society. This is a decision to tell innocent children they'll not be pulled away from their parents' arms. I've seen this firsthand in Nevada, how this broken immigration system has torn families apart, sometimes forever. The president's decision is not a political victory. It's a victory for families. We know well that this decision is not a permanent solution. It is a first step. If we had it our way, President Obama would be signing a comprehensive immigration bill into law instead of an executive action. But we can't sit idly by, waiting for Republicans to act while homes are being broken up all across this nation. We've waited 511 days. All the House would have to do is take up the bill, and it would pass. It would pass overwhelmingly. Virtually every Democrat would vote for it, and many Republicans vote for it. It would pass. Republicans keep saying, give us more time, give us more time. 511 days is enough time. We've given them this time waiting patiently. But in the meantime, the four of us will support this historic step for family stability, and that's what it's all about. And also, as indicated in the meeting last night at the White House, we told the president, and we're telling him before all these TV cameras, we've got his back. Senator Durbin?
I want to thank Senator Reid, but I especially want to thank President Obama. He's accepted the responsibility of moving this nation forward to fix our broken immigration system. We tried in the Senate. Senator Schumer and I were part of a group of 8 senators, 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans. We came up with a comprehensive immigration reform, one that really addressed every aspect of immigration. We passed it with an overwhelming vote in the Senate and sent it to the House of Representatives 511 days ago. Since then, they've refused to call this bill or any part of it. Now the President is stepping in with executive action to try to deal with accountability when it comes to immigration. Oh, the critics are going to call it amnesty, but as Senator Rubio has reminded us, doing nothing, leaving the current system in place is amnesty. What the President is calling for is accountability. He is saying to those who have been here at least 5 years that they need to step forward, register with our government, pay the filing fee, submit themselves to a criminal background check, and pay their taxes. Are they entitled then to government programs? No. But they can legally work in America, period. That is what the President is proposing. That, to me, is humane. He is looking to those families where there are already U.S. citizens as part of the family. Senator Reid said he's seen these families. I've seen them too. Broadview, Illinois is a suburb outside of Chicago, and every Friday morning a bus pulls in and is filled with those who are about to be put on airplanes at O'Hare and sent down largely to Mexico, out of this country. I've been there. I've been there with many people who stand in vigil as they're being sent away. And I've met these families. It's a heartbreaking situation. These are not felons. These are members of families. These are not criminals. These are children. And what the President is saying is set a priority to keep America safe. Let's make sure we go after those with a criminal record and tell them they have no place in America. Let's make sure we go after repeat offenders and tell them they have no place in America. But when it comes to families with citizens in the household, if they've been here at least 5 years, we give them a chance to come out of the shadows, play by the rules, and be held accountable. And the President believes that by doing this, we can devote even more resources to a safer border between the United States and Mexico. That is a good outcome for America. The Republicans who are criticizing the President for this executive action ignore the fact that 11 previous presidents have done exactly the same thing, using their executive authority to address the issues of immigration. this president is going to use his executive authority to try to solve a problem which the House Republicans refuse to even address. It's a right move for America. It is a first step. We still have our responsibility to do something in Congress, but until we do, the president is doing the right thing for America.
Senator Murray.
That's for sure.
Okay, Senator Schumer.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, well, over the past several weeks, House Republicans have said everything is on the table to stop the executive order the president is going to issue tonight. They've talked about defunding immigration services that would make a broken immigration system even more dysfunctional. They've talked about only passing a short-term government funding bill, setting the stage for yet another round of economic brinksmanship that middle-class families can't afford. And they've talked about shutting down the government and wreaking havoc on the daily life in cities, towns, and rural areas throughout the country. When they look on the table at all of their options, there's one more option that would stop the president dead in his tracks while actually improving, not hurting our economy, passing the bipartisan Senate immigration bill. Now, Senator McConnell this morning said that if the president moves forward, Congress will act. Good. Congress should act. I agree with Senator McConnell. Congress should act. But rather than choosing to throw a temper tantrum and shut down the government, hurting millions of middle-class families, Republicans should channel their anger in a productive fashion to pass the bipartisan bill now. Republicans want to secure the border? The bill before them includes $40 billion. Border Patrol agents from Galveston, Texas to San Diego every half mile. A complete fence across the border. And drones, the kind of drones that are surveillance drones that can see anything that crosses the border and distinguish between deer and people. They want to grow the economy? The bill will grow the economy, according to CBO, by 5.4% over the next 20 years. They want to reduce the deficit? The bill would reduce the deficit by nearly $1 trillion over the last 20 years. And they want to get rid of amnesty? Well, doing nothing, as they're advocating, continues amnesty. But passing a bill like ours does the following. Makes people register. They then have to work. They have to pay back taxes. They have to admit wrongdoing. They have to learn English. They have to pay a fine. That's not amnesty in anybody's book. Criminal background check as well. So, Republicans shouldn't get mad. They should get even. They should nullify the president's executive order by passing our bill and passing it now. If the Republicans want to stop this executive order, they have an ace up their sleeve that would do the trick. A common sense, bipartisan immigration reform bill. All they have to do is play that card, and the whole issue goes away.
Very good. I'll take,
Patty.
oh, we're having trouble here again,
Sorry.
because I'm still trying to get over my dinner last night.
Well, the need to fix our nation's cruel and broken immigration system is not a new issue. It's something that we have been debating and arguing about for more than a decade. But for too long, Congress simply has not been able to get anything done. And that is not for the lack of trying. It's been more than 500 days now that a real bipartisan coalition of 68 Republicans and Democrats passed a comprehensive immigration reform bill that would finally start to fix our broken immigration system. Improves our security, provides businesses with the certainty that they need, provides a real path to citizenship for the millions of undocumented immigrants who are forced today to live in the shadows, and it was good for our economy. The Congressional Budget Office estimated that the Senate bill would reduce the deficit by nearly $1 trillion over the next 2 decades. And best of all, when we sent this bipartisan legislation to the House, the Speaker had all the time in the world to pass it. And the same thing that was true a year and a half ago is still true today. If the Speaker brings up the Senate bill for a vote, it will pass. We're that close. It is that simple. But he's made it clear that he's siding with the Tea Party once again, and I believe that our country deserves better. because while we've worked towards real immigration reform for all of these years, millions of immigrant families who have played by the rules, who have paid their taxes and raised their children beside ours, have waited and waited for action. They have organized, they have hoped, and they have prayed, and they've trusted that the system would eventually work. But thanks to the House Republicans, the system has failed. So now it is time to act. President Obama has said he will take administrative action to improve our immigration system as much as he can, and we support his decision to do that. His constitutional authority to take action is clear, just as it was when Presidents Bush and Reagan took similar steps during their administration. Now, we all know this is not a long-term solution. Plain and simple, the only way for us to permanently and effectively fix our broken immigration laws is through legislation. Administrative action is a Band-Aid, but it is better than nothing, and nothing is what the House Republicans are offering. So we're going to continue to support the President's decision to take action, but we will not stop in this Congress or the next working towards a real long-term solution through comprehensive immigration reform legislation.
Yes.
The President himself has said several times that he's done everything that he can on immigration and that only Congress can fix the immigration system. So was he right then, or is he right now?
He has said on a number of occasions, as you heard all of us say today, this is a first step. It's a first step to bring some degree of hope to these families who are desperate for help. This is a first step. Of course we need comprehensive immigration reform, and nothing the President has said changes that.
Senator,
Yes.
you've been pretty clear that you support the President's action. One of the things he's also doing, of course, is going around Congress. That's usually the kind of thing, in principle, that bothers folks like you. So in terms of the expansion of executive authority here, are you comfortable with that in the balance of powers aspect? And secondly, even though you support the policies that the President is going to announce tonight, have you seen a legal analysis that makes you comfortable that it will survive court challenge and that it is constitutional?
First of all, this is so obvious that he was going to do something, so obvious. At the State of the Union, President Obama said, if we continue to have no action on a number of different issues, I have no choice but to take my own action. That's what he's done. He telegraphed this. Now, in the secret bowels of the White House, did he meet with some staff people to come up with something that was unique and different? No. Let's go back to Dwight Eisenhower. 39 different executive actions have taken place since Eisenhower by virtually every president, giving millions of people the relief that President Obama is doing with the action he's taken. So this isn't anything that's new and unique. It's been done many times. And as far as here's how I feel about it, my personal feeling. We have had 4 years of Republicans opposing everything. Actually, it's 6 years, but we had enough senators that first term that didn't matter that much. But for 4 years, they've stopped virtually everything. My only surprise is the President's waited as long as he has to do some of these things with executive action.
Senator Reid,
Yes.
given that some of your more conservative members have expressed some level of discomfort with this, if a bill is advanced to block it or overturn it in some way, would you be able to defeat that?
Well, why don't we just wait and see what they're going to do? As Senator Schumer mentioned, the Republican leader on the floor today said he was going to do something, and he said aggressive action. I don't know what that means, but let's see what they're going to do. We believe that we're in a good place here, and it's up to the Republicans to react, and I hope they react in a way that is not harmful to our country. Yes.
This is not permanent, it's temporary. Without congressional backing, how do we know that a lot of these families aren't going to be reluctant to ever participate in the system? Maybe fearful that 2 years from now it becomes a deportation list. How does this not get viewed as an empty gesture, an actual change for the people who are?
Well, at the meeting we had in the White House last night, head of the Hispanic caucus, head of the Black caucus, everyone there was telling the President, we've got your back. immigrant groups from all over America, the Catholic bishops, the Mormon Church. This is something that is fair and the right thing to do. And they have the opportunity at some later time, some president to say, I want this all changed. I wish that person luck to try to tell these millions of people and their families, who many at that time will have many, many more United States citizens. I think it'd be pretty hard to rescind what this first step is. Last question right here.
Are you disappointed at all, and this could go to all of you, about the scope of this action, specifically that it doesn't include the parents of Dreamers, as you all articulated in your letter earlier this week?
We have a very broad program that I understand will allow some 5 million people to have their status readjusted. That's pretty good. One of the Dreamers that I've worked with for such a long time, her name is Astrid Silva. She was on a talk show in Las Vegas last night with a couple of people who didn't like what's going on. She did so well. Why? Because Astrid's a Dreamer. She has a sibling that is a citizen. Her parents are going to be taken care of under this order. So it's easy to say this wasn't done, that wasn't done. I'm satisfied that the lot was done, and I'm very happy.
But Senator Reid, did the president go as far as he could?